On behalf of the Institute for Cultural Diplomacy, we would like to thank you, Mr. Ambassador, that you have accepted this interview. So thank you and welcome. Let me begin by asking you the first question. You have had a very rich diplomatic career. In which position do you think you gained the most experience, or where have you faced some of the most difficult challenges?
Yes, thank you for the possibility to speak with you. I've had some quite interesting posts in my career. The most challenging, I would say, it was the post of the chief of the cabinet of the foreign minister. It is really a demanding job.
Mm-hmm. In which way? Which way?
I mean, you are confronted with all international questions the ministry is dealing with, and you are preparing the decision for the minister, so it is quite difficult.
Why did you decide to become a diplomat?
Diplomacy is a very interesting space of work. You prepare conditions for good understanding of countries, nations, and it is quite a challenging thing. Diplomacy is a strange animal. If everything is running well and there are no problems, the people think, why do we have diplomats? It's not needed. But in case we have crises, like unfortunately these days we have a lot of them, then diplomacy is really demanded. But my point is, it is better to have preventive diplomacy, not to have crisis, than to solve crisis. It's much more difficult.
Exactly. How important is the role of being the Slovak ambassador to Germany, in your opinion?
I mean, this is a strange question in my eyes. I am not going to evaluate my position in Germany, but definitely Germany is a quite important country, not only for Slovakia, but for all partners. But it is definitely an honor to serve in this position.
Sure. How have the relations between Germany and Slovakia changed over the years, and in what ways is the Embassy of Slovakia in Berlin promoting the Slovak culture?
This is a very broad question. We can speak 2 hours about it. I would just give you some figures so that you have an impression of what we are speaking about. We have excellent political relations with Germany, and it is one of our key partners. We have very intensive economic relations with Germany. We have an turnaround from the business at the level of 26 billions of euro in a year. So, and we are one of the minimum of countries which have a surplus in trade with Germany, which is quite an unusual situation. So the relations are very good, excellent, and intensive. You have been also asking about the cultural diplomacy. There is a whole spectrum of very interesting events we have been preparing last weeks, months, and years. I would maybe stress some of them which are on our radars also in the past, but also in the future. As a highlight, I would maybe bring to your attention a project which was prepared with Slovak National Theatre and the German Theatre in Berlin, and it was a piece written by a Georgian-German writer, Nino Heritage. The name was in German Das Land der ersten Dinge. It was performed for 2 years on both stages, in the Slovak National Theatre in Bratislava and here in Berlin, and it was a real success, and I was glad to see this project because it was also by performing actors mixed with German and Slovak actors, so it was a very visible, if you want, promotion of
Slovak culture.
Promotion of Slovak culture, and also the projection of our good cooperation here with the German partners. Another thing I would like to stress is the exhibition of our architecture. which was prepared in Berlin. It was has had very positive resonance here in the architecture scene, and I'm proud that the Slovak modern architecture is really having the world level, and we have been glad to present it last weeks in Berlin. Maybe I'll also say some words about two projects we have coming weeks. We are opening next week coronation festivities which have been in Bratislava for centuries, and this will be presented and open next week in Centre Charlemagne in Aachen. On following days in Düsseldorf we are opening the exhibition of Slovak glass and design in Kunstpalast Düsseldorf. So you see there are two quite interesting projects just coming next days. And the last one, you have been putting a very broad question, so I'm bringing a broad answer. We'll have at the end of our presidency, you might know that Slovakia has the presidency coming half a year, and at the end of that in December we'll have in the Berlin Dome a gala concert with famous opera singers as Rita Gruberová, Pavel Breslik and others. So it would be really a nice event, and we have already confirmation of high political representation to be present at that event from both sides, German and Slovak as well.
Okay, thank you. So regarding this concept of cultural diplomacy, how would you define it? What does it mean to you, this concept of cultural diplomacy? How can we use, for example, cultural diplomacy to strengthen the relations between Slovakia and Germany?
Look, culture is playing always an important role in relations between countries, and it is for us extremely important that we are present at the German scene. We are very active. We have a Slovak Institute here, which is preparing numerous events, I would say weekly. So we are putting a lot of emphasis to this part of our activities.
Okay, and can you give us an example of a time in which you were involved in a successful cultural dialogue, and how do you see the role of cultural diplomacy today?
I think the role was not diminished, was not higher. This is part of our activity, which was present since the beginning of existence of Slovak Republic, and we have also in other countries institutes which are taking care of our bilateral cultural relations with crucial countries. So I do not expect that we'll diminish this role of our activities in this sphere.
Okay, thank you. Your whole career was dedicated to international relations, and I would like to know if you could give to the young people who are interested in studying or pursuing a career in international relations or diplomacy, what would be your advice for them?
Study international relations.
Yeah.
No, to give you a more broad answer to this quite important and interesting question, because of course I'm meeting a lot of young students. We have stagiaires in the embassy, and they are preparing themselves for the job. If you want to do something and it is really your wish, then you can achieve it. Invest time and study, think, of course learn languages, and then you can achieve it. I will bring you an example. By chance, I was studying together with my today's foreign minister, who is now one of the candidates for the post of the Secretary General of the UN. In case somebody would tell us 30 years ago, as we have been students, that one of us might be candidate for this honorable post, we would maybe laugh at that idea. But you see, the time is coming, the people are prepared, ready, with experience, with good qualification, and this candidacy, which is not yet official, but I would guess it will come, has good chances to be successful. So this is a good example for your young colleagues and friends to tell them, look, there is a possibility to achieve quite high posts on that level.
Would you recommend them, for example, learning more foreign languages, or do you think English is sufficient in diplomacy?
English is not at all sufficient. English is the first prerequisite. English is the lingua franca. Without English, you can't do anything in international relations. Definitely, you need to speak more languages. Me, myself, I'm speaking 7 languages, and I think it is quite a good prerequisite to understand people, what they mean, what they say. And it is always, of course, better in case you understand the language. They are excellent interpreters, but the live communication is always better.
Okay. Is there anything more you would like to add to this topic of cultural diplomacy?
I wish your institute much success, that you are doing, preparing nice events, nice projects, and we are ready to be cooperative in our
You are, of course, invited to visit us at any time. We are very grateful that we could be here today at the Slovakian embassy, and I would like to express my sincere thank you and to your colleagues, and thank you very much for this.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.